Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, we have video by the man Wilson, one of my favorite YouTubers out there, guys. Every NBA team's worst free agent signing this decade. We are taking a trip down bitch-ass memory lane to just have, I don't know, man, hopefully no PTSD about this, just seeing like some of these guys get signed up, but let's see what this is all about. Guys, go check out Wilson's channel. Link to it in the description below. And if you guys do me a quick favor and please drop a like on this video. Thank you all so much. Every NBA team's worst free agent signing this decade.
How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. With the current climax of the NBA salary cap, it's impossible for teams to not make mistakes.
Damn
like
straight.
Overpaying for some role player.
Guys, so far, man, who overpaid so far? I'm hearing Al Horford was an overpaid for the Philadelphia 76ers. What do you guys all think, man? What do you guys all think?
Even overpaying for all-star players who are no longer as good as they used to be. Sometimes teams spend over $100 million on them. So with the 2019 NBA free agency underway, let's take a look back at all the free agent signings from every team.
Bitch-ass contracts!
The Atlanta Hawks, Joe Johnson, 2010.
Yo, ISO Joe was
Multiple
the beast.
teams were trying to add Johnson during the offseason.
Once upon a time.
After a second-round exit the year before, and Joe never leading the team to the conference finals, ISO Joe has always been defined by money, making over $220 million in his career.
Bro, in the Big Three, this man just had one of the craziest crossovers. I reacted to it on my channel.
Atlanta decided to give him a $119 million contract for 6 years. He was almost 30 years old at the time. The following season, Johnson had his worst scoring year since he joined the Hawks in 2005. The team simply regretted their decision 2 summers after the team traded him to the Nets for a bunch of average role
Then he
players.
fell off.
Enjoyed the final year of his contract. The 34-year-old
Look at
averaged
that.
12 points a game, was making $24.9 million, the second highest at the time behind Kobe Bryant.
Get him again.
He was a top 20 player at best, but combined with his career earnings of $220 million, talk about big bucks. The Boston Celtics, Jermaine O'Neal.
Bro, Jermaine O'Neal was trash. Like, pretty much as soon as the Palace Brawl happened, the man was just butt cheeks, man. This man was not mo cheeks, butt cheeks. Because he was good on the Pacers, like, for a little bit. And then he went to the Celtics. And I think he played for the Warriors for a bit. And maybe a few other teams. He just fell off.
2010.
A lot of injuries,
the team tried to fill the void after Rasheed Wallace left. Danny Ainge signed O'Neal to a 2-year worth $12 million, where the 32-year-old had a disastrous time in Boston, having countless injuries.
I'll take Aaron Baines over you.
A total of 49 games in 2 seasons, averaged just 5.1 points and 4.5 points. The team depended heavily on him after Kendrick Perkins and Shaquille O'Neal was gone, but Jermaine couldn't do much. The Brooklyn Nets signing Gerald Wallace to a 4-year $40 million deal.
Be crashing that bitch-ass bank. Okay, I gotta be nice. We only like 3, and I gotta be nice.
Being traded from Portland at the trade deadline, the 29-year-old had his best years behind him, and Brooklyn was desperately trying to be relevant.
Yikes.
The worst part of this deal was causing the Nets the first-round pick, which turned out to be Damian Lillard. Wallace was later traded to the Celtics as part of the Garnett package. The Charlotte Hornets signing Nicolas Batum to a whooping 5-year deal worth $120 million by former GM Rich Choi, who was later fired and replaced by Mitch Kupchak. The team wasted a lot of their money on the 6'8" forward, made $23 million this past season and over $25 for the next 2 years. The Chicago Bulls, summer 2010, signing Carlos Boozer to a 5-year $80 million deal, who didn't provide Derrick Rose the help team needed to get over the hump.
He was a beast on Utah, man. I like Carlos Boozer. He got a bitch-ass jump shot, man. He's got the most slingiest looking jump shot ever.
Absolutely destroyed by Chris Bosh in the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals. Bosh averaged 23 a game, Boozer 14.5 points, scored a pathetic 5 points in Game 5, was inconsistent, lacked defense, and way past his prime. After 4 seasons, the team decided to amnesty him. Many Bulls fans viewed Boozer's time with the franchise an atrocity. The Cleveland Cavaliers' J.R. Smith, who agreed to a shocking 4-year worth $57 million.
I look at that contract, man. I get the J.R. Smith out just like... Like, what the hell is going on, man? Like, what did I just smoke? Am I really seeing a 4-year, $57 million?
Deal after helping the team win its first ever championship, but the 31-year-old was way past his prime, averaged 8.2 points on 38% shooting over the last 3 seasons, regressed it in every way imaginable, will always be remembered for dribbling out the clock in Game 1 of the 2018 Finals after his contract. The Dallas Mavericks signing Harrison Barnes to a max deal of 4 years worth $95 million,
that
where
one
he
wasn't
did
too
help
bad.
The team produce wins. Failed to average 20 points in his 2.5-year tenure with the Mavs, was basically putting up empty stats on a bad team. The Denver Nuggets' Kenneth Faried, who signed a 4-year $50 million.
Talk about signing a dude that just does not fit in this era of basketball. I mean, I guess as a small ball center, he was actually not bad for the Houston Rockets. I'm not going to hate on him too much.
$1
But
million
still, now we're
extension before the 2014-15 season, who fell off the rotation after a couple years, later found himself spending most of his time on the bench. Denver traded him to Brooklyn, freezing up $21 million in salary, barely played for the Nets, but was a contributor for the Rockets on a one-year vet minimum this past season. The Detroit Pistons' Josh Smith, who signed with the Pistons back in 2013 on a 4-year $54 million deal. After a solid first season of 16.4 points, his numbers and attitude started to take a turn, was jacking up and missing many threes. Detroit opted to stretch his contract, released him in the middle of his second season, and the franchise paid him $5.3 million this past season and next year, despite him not playing in an NBA game since November 3rd of 2017, a huge mistake that's still costing the team salary.
Okay, Wilson!
Warriors, who made very...
You went out a little extra long on that one, compared to some of the other teams.
Few mistakes this decade, but in 2010, before Steph Curry was a star, the team signed David Lee on a sign and trade deal as an
nice on the Knicks.
free agent, earning him a 6-year worth
Trash
$80
on the
million.
Warriors.
The Houston Rockets, the Chris Paul contract, signing a 4-year $160 million deal at age 33 with his health and greatness already diminishing. The Rockets seem to be shooting themselves in the foot. It seemed to be the smarter decision to keep Luol, Pat Bev, and Montrezl Harrell, not to mention Dwight Howard's 3-year worth $70.5 million.
Doing the double take
with injury and didn't have the
double
same
take on the
impact he did
Rockets.
with Orlando. And of course, who can forget Ryan Anderson's 4-year worth 80? The Indiana Pacers, Monta Ellis, who signed a 4-year $44 million contract,
Monta needs to come back,
but played for only 2 seasons before the team waived him, was out of the league at 31 years old, and losing his quickness, his inefficiency, and lack of floor spacing makes him a huge liability in today's NBA. The Los Angeles Clippers signing Spencer Haas to a 4-year $23 million deal, averaged under 6 points, and despite being traded the season after, he made no impact whatsoever in the 2014-15 season. The Los Angeles Lakers, Luol Deng, summer 2016, LA signed him to a 4-year deal worth $72 million. The franchise still had the $5 million on their books after waiving
Luol Deng,
where he only appeared in just 57 total games for purple and gold. The front office decision of signing him still hurts to this very day. And who can forget, the Tiffany Mozgov's 4-year $64 million comes in second place. The Memphis Grizzlies, Chandler Parsons is ridiculous.
Yo, look at his face. He's like, yo, how the hell did I get this? Like, he looks confused.
This 4-year $94 million max, one of the biggest robberies in NBA history, who missed more than half the season the last 3 years, averaged fewer than 8 points a game, was injury prone in Dallas, an absolute stupid decision by the Grizzlies front office. Parsons scored a total of 681 points the last 3 seasons combined, made over 69 mil during that time. That's over $100,000 per point. Absolute insanity.
Damn, dude.
The Miami Heat, who have multiple terrible signings.
Tyler Johnson, I can't believe.
2 players with the same last names, Tyler Johnson and James Johnson, where Tyler got a 4-year $50 million in summer 2016, while James agreed.
You got Joe Johnson, James Johnson, Tyler Johnson. Basically, if your last name is Johnson, you're guaranteed to make multiple millions of dollars in the NBA, I guess.
To a 4-year $60 million in summer 2017, overpaying for average players. Tyler's now no longer with the team. That's why the team have been average as of late. The Milwaukee Bucks, Larry Sanders, who the team will pay.
He was nice. In all fairness, he just retired.
After a 4-year $44 million deal in 2013, using the NBA stress provision, Sanders missed many times due to injury and retired 2 seasons after for personal reasons. The Minnesota Timberwolves, not Andrew Wiggins since he signed his max before hitting free agency, so it's Nikola Pekovic, who signed for 5 years $60 million in summer 2013 after averaging 16 and 9 as the star.
Can we just take a moment, man? I love the flip badge, though. That's absolutely awesome. I absolutely love the flip badge. Flip Saunders, one of my favorite coaches of all time. Rest in peace.
Center, his production dropped and was nagging foot injuries, was forced to retire in the 2015-16 season. The New Orleans Pelicans, Omer Al-Sheikh's 5-year $60 million deal in 2015, after averaging 7 and 10 the season
Such a horrible
contract. The 7-foot center had injuries after his contract, missed more than 50 games in each of his next 4 seasons after, made no impact. The New York Knicks, Joakim Noah's insane 4-year $72 million.
And y'all recycling it again, man. You're doing it again, Knicks. Giving out all these damn large contracts to all of these average players.
deal, summer 2016. The center was coming off huge injuries with the Bulls, was not the same player at 31 years old, averaged just 5 points, almost 9 rebounds his first season in New York, scored a combined 244 points in 2 seasons at the Mecca, $295,000 per point in the Knicks uniform, played just 53 games and was later waived and stretched. His contract will remain in the books for a while, but rejuvenated his career a little bit.
Rejuvenate is a big word.
But his best days are behind him. The Oklahoma City Thunder, Sam Presti choosing to sign Serge Ibaka to an extension worth 4-year, $48 million, which drove James Harden away, a decision that will forever haunt the franchise, opening the door for the franchise losing 2 MVP players. The Orlando Magic, this Matt Biombo, summer 2016. Thankfully, they traded him to Charlotte, but giving him 4-year, $72 million was absolutely ludicrous. After a couple good playoff games with the Raptors, Biombo's a very average role player with extremely limited offensive skills. The Philadelphia 76ers signing Kwame Brown in 2012. After becoming one of the most disappointing busts in NBA history, it was a miracle how Brown was able to convince Philly to sign him to a 2-year worth $5.7 million deal. Even the great Kobe Bryant had no idea why Philly would give Kwame that type of money. After waiving him after the first season, Brown would never play another NBA game again. The Phoenix Suns' Brandon Knight, who signed a 5-year worth $70 million in 2015, was troubled by serious injuries after being forced to miss the entire 2017-18 season. Knight looked like a promising player before that and was traded to Houston in summer 2018. Houston traded him to Cleveland shortly after. The Portland Trailblazers signing Evan Turner to a 4-year worth $70 million. A former number 2 overall bust nobody talks about. Turner spent most of his time coming off the bench, averaged single digits in
That's a very good point. Nobody gives any crap to Evan Turner. Number 2 pick in the draft. Nobody says anything, but y'all want to bring up Darko.
Scoring didn't provide much for the Blazers. The Sacramento Kings signing Aaron DeFalo to a 2-year worth $25 million summer 2016 was released after one season. After averaging 8.4 points, last played for the Orlando Magic in the 2017-18 season.
I miss him.
The San Antonio Spurs, where the franchise don't make much mistakes, the team did resign Thiago Splitter to a 4-year $36 million deal, was essentially worth the same as Tim Duncan, who was making $9 million per year at the time. Splitter at best is an average role player and did play a vital role on the 2014 championship team. The Toronto Raptors signing DeMar Carroll to a 4-year $60 million deal.
Wasn't he an All-Star on the Hawks, or he was almost an All-Star?
Piece at the time, but his tenure was filled with injuries, played in a diminished role, was traded to the Nets in 2017. While Landry Fields' 3 years $18 million in 2012 deserves a mention, the Utah Jazz Alec Burks 4 years $42 million in 2014 was bad. From averaging over 13 a game the first 2 years of his deal to less than 8 points the 2 seasons after, he lost minutes and didn't provide much. Although Dante Exum's 3-year $33 million he signed summer 2018 might surpass Burks in a couple years. The Washington Wizards Jan Mahimi's 4-year $64 million in 2016
This all from 2016, man. What a horrible offseason.
Insane
horrible
Supermax might be the worst decision the franchise ever made, but Wall didn't test free agency at the time.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe for more content, more great stuff coming soon. I love all of you. See you next time.
Thank you, Wilson. Guys, link to his channel description below. I mean, these were all pretty much spot on. No big time complaints. All bitch ass contracts, man. So yeah, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Give me your bitch ass contract of the day in the comment section below. I guess whatever. Peace out, guys. I go on for too long sometimes.